Imagine this. One day you wake up and the life you thought you understood suddenly doesn't make sense anymore. The job you once believed was your dream now feels like a prison. The relationship you worked so hard to keep alive suddenly feels hollow, like speaking to someone across a vast canyon. You try to smile, but inside you feel a gnawing emptiness that no distraction can cover. Maybe it comes after heartbreak, maybe after losing someone you love, or sometimes for no reason at all. But the question that begins to echo inside you is the same. Is this all there is to life? If you've ever felt this unsettling question stir in your chest, you might already be walking through the doorway of a spiritual awakening. A spiritual awakening is not gentle. It rarely whispers. It shakes you. It strips away the lies you've told yourself, the masks you've worn for society, and the identities you've clung to for safety. It is the earthquake of the soul, demolishing the foundations you thought were unshakable, only to reveal that beneath all the rubble, a deeper truth has always been waiting. And here's what many people don't realize. A spiritual awakening doesn't happen in one sudden flash of light. It unfolds in stages, each one demanding, each one breaking you open, each one reshaping you until you can no longer recognize the person you used to be. The first stage often begins in chaos. Life throws you into a storm you didn't choose, and suddenly everything feels uncertain. It might be the loss of a job, the betrayal of someone you trusted, the diagnosis you never saw coming, or the heartbreak that shattered the story you built your life around. In that moment, you feel as if the universe has pulled the rug out from under your feet and left you tumbling in freefall. And yet, here is the hidden gift. Chaos isn't just destruction. It is the brutal mercy of the universe tearing down what no longer serves you. It is the fire that burns the old forest so that something new can grow. Take Sarah, for example. She was a successful lawyer, the kind of woman her colleagues admired and envied. With her luxury car, her high-rise apartment, and her calendar so full she barely had time to breathe. But behind her flawless smile was a bone-deep exhaustion she ignored until one night. She collapsed on the office floor from sheer burnout. That collapse was her chaos. Doctors told her to slow down, or she wouldn't survive another year. At first she cursed her fate, angry that life had betrayed her. But in that forced pause, something remarkable happened. She began to question why she was running so hard toward a finish line she didn't even want. Her breakdown became the crack where light slipped in. That was the beginning of her awakening. Maybe you have your own story of chaos. Maybe you're living it right now. If so, I want you to know this. You are not broken and you are not lost. You are being invited. This chaos is not punishment. It's initiation. The universe isn't trying to destroy you. It's trying to wake you up. When your old world crumbles, what you are left with is the raw material of truth. And from that raw material, a new life can be born. After the storm of chaos, something shifts. The ground is still shaky beneath your feet, but you notice something different in the air. It feels lighter, fresher, as if you've just survived the fiercest night and the first rays of dawn are breaking through. This is what many people call the bliss stage of awakening. Nay, a golden window where your heart feels wide open and your soul tastes freedom for the first time. It doesn't happen all at once. Sometimes it begins in small, almost invisible ways. You might find yourself walking down the street and suddenly noticing how alive the trees look, how the sunlight spills like liquid gold, how every sound seems sharper, almost sacred. It's as though the world you thought you knew has been repainted in colors you've never seen before. In this stage, there is often a strange sense of euphoria. You feel connected, not just to yourself, but to everything. It's like the invisible walls that kept you separate from the world are gone, and you can finally breathe in a deeper rhythm. The simplest things bring tears to your eyes, a child's laughter, the sound of rain against your window, even the touch of your own hand against your chest. You might wonder, have I lost my mind? But the truth is, you are touching reality more deeply than ever before. You are tasting the essence of life in its raw beauty, unfiltered by ego, expectation, or the noise of the world. I remember a story of David, a man who battled depression for years. After his marriage ended and his business collapsed, he felt like life had abandoned him. But one morning he sat on his porch, sipping coffee with no desire to move, when he suddenly noticed a butterfly landing on the railing. Something so ordinary struck him as extraordinary. He said it felt like the butterfly carried a secret message from the universe. You are still alive, and that is enough. From that day forward, he began to notice signs everywhere. A song on the radio that seemed to answer his thoughts. Strangers speaking words that felt divinely timed. Even chance meetings that led him exactly where he needed to be. That was his bliss stage, the universe whispering, I am with you. What makes this stage so intoxicating is the awakening of the heart. For perhaps the first time in your life, you aren't just thinking with your head. You are feeling with your soul. Compassion floods in. You find yourself caring more deeply about others, about the planet, about every living thing, and with that compassion comes a new sense of guidance. You begin to feel like there is an invisible hand arranging things, leading you forward. Coincidences, or what many call synchronicities, no longer feel random. They feel like breadcrumbs on a path that is unfolding just for you. But let me warn you, this stage, as blissful as it feels, is not the destination. It is a gift, yes, but also a test. Many people mistake this honeymoon phase as the final awakening, believing they have arrived. They chase the high, trying to make it last forever. And when it inevitably fades, they crash into despair. The truth is, this stage is like the first bloom of spring. It's beautiful, intoxicating, unforgettable, but it's not meant to last forever. Its purpose is to give you a glimpse of what is possible, a vision of the beauty that awaits when you live from your heart. It shows you the treasure, but it doesn't hand it to you yet. When you're in this stage, enjoy it. Savor it. Let it fill your soul with hope, but also hold it gently, knowing it is a stepping stone, not the mountaintop. Because just beyond this radiant dawn waits another phase of awakening, one that is darker, heavier, but absolutely essential. The dark night of the soul. Just when you think you've found heaven on earth, the ground suddenly disappears beneath your feet again. The joy that once lit your days begins to dim. The colors of life fade, and the synchronicities that once guided you so clearly seem to vanish into silence. It feels like you've been abandoned by the very universe that once held you so tenderly. This descent is what mystics and seekers throughout history have called the dark night of the soul, and make no mistake, it is not a small stumble. It is a plunge into the depths of your being, into shadows you never wanted to face, into questions you never wanted to ask. The dark night is not depression, though it can feel like it. It's deeper, more existential. It's as if your entire identity has dissolved, leaving you without the comfort of who you thought you were. The things that once gave you meaning, your career, your achievements, your relationships, even your spiritual practices, now feel hollow. Nothing satisfies. You feel stripped bare, like a tree in winter, whose branches are skeletal against the icy wind. And yet, though it feels like death, this stage is not your ending. It is your soul's brutal surgery, cutting away illusions so that your true self can be reborn. Consider Maria's story. She was a mother of two, deeply devoted